All right. Well, thank
Great.
you, Ben, for stopping by to chat with us here at the Journal
No, it's
offices.
my pleasure.
First question for you: What's motivating you to run for this seat on the county board?
Sure. Well, I'm a lifelong progressive, and I've built my career around public service and on building a fairer, more sustainable, stronger future for communities. And I've been really excited over the last few years to see all the new energy in our community here, to get new people involved in government, and to take on some of the big, long-standing challenges that we've had here. Economic inequality that faces our community, our transportation future and the way that we get around. But I've been very conscious as somebody who works at the county. I'm an assistant county attorney. I work in the county attorney's office. I prosecute white-collar crime, and I also do the policy work for the office. So I've been very conscious as someone who works for the county that making significant progress in any of these areas is going to require strong leadership at the county to do it. And that's what I want to do. I think the county board as an institution is one that has a lot of great people on it, but it's one that could use a fresh perspective. And I'm somebody who, I work for the county, I've seen that apparatus from the inside, but at the same time, I have never run for office before. So I'm coming at this without any debts or rivalries or grudges. You know, I am coming at it just as somebody who wants to engage with the process, solve problems, ask hard questions, build a path to the future. And you know, I know how to ask hard questions and make hard decisions. I mean, this is what I do in my job at the county attorney's office all the time. I mean, we look at complicated problems, ask hard questions of the people who are investigating the cases, ask hard questions of the defense, and then make decisions that have significant and important consequences for people's lives, and always doing it with the public interest in mind. So that's what I want to be able to do on the county board as well.
All right. What would be your top priorities if you were elected?
Yeah, well, I am talking about three things in particular. One is our transportation future, making it easier for us to use our cars less here, and that means better transit options. It means more walkable neighborhoods. It means an expanded bike infrastructure. I'm talking about the problem of inequality and mobilizing the apparatus of the county to take on that problem in a really concerted and serious way, and that's going to mean a more engaged, holistic approach to our early childhood work. It's going to mean doing a better job of working with the schools to provide support for students and their families. And it's going to mean getting living wages for all workers in the county and being part of the solution for that as well. And then the third thing is continuing Commissioner Dorfman's work to end homelessness. We've made tremendous progress in that area, and I'm committed to continuing that.
Very good. What are the biggest challenges facing Hennepin County, in your opinion?
Well, I think those are the biggest challenges. Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that's exciting about the opportunity we have right now, or maybe I should say the moment that we're in, is that I think we have the chance right now to take on some of these huge challenges, and that's why I'm running for this seat, and that's why I'm talking about the issues that I'm talking about. You know, we've got new partners at Minneapolis City Hall. That's a really exciting opportunity for us. I'm really excited to work with the new mayor and the new council members on some of these big issues. We have a lot of good policy going on at the state level now. And so with my experience working at the legislature, being ready to engage with our partners there as well. So I mean, the priorities I've already identified are really the things I see as our big challenges, and they're the things that I want to work on.
Okay. What unique assets would you say you bring compared to the other candidates in the field?
Yeah, well, I mean, so some of it I've talked about already as well, but one thing is that I work at the county, and I work at the county in a county department, right? So I perform a core county function. I know what it's like to do that. I've also had the chance through the policy work I've done at the county to interact with county administration and the county board and people who work in different county departments. So having an understanding of the way that those departments work, but then also through my work with my union. I'm on the executive board of my AFSCME local 2938, and I'm endorsed by Council 5. I'll put that on the record as well. But having an understanding of how important a county workforce and a strong county workforce is in building a county that can provide great public service. So that's one thing. Second is that I have the ability to provide a fresh perspective in this race. You know, I'm coming into this, like I said, without ever having run for office before, with a career built around public service and around building stronger communities and fighting for people, but without any political baggage or I don't know how you want to say it, scores to settle or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I just want to come in, meet people, interact with people, ask questions about the way things are done, challenge old assumptions about the way that we've structured our county government, challenge old assumptions about the way that we do, the way that we plan and strategize. And like I said, I think I am in a position to do that. I mean, in my job as an attorney, what I do is ask hard questions. That's really the core. That's really the core of the job. I mean, you know, and I've got somebody on the stand. What am I doing? I mean, I'm getting at I'm breaking down problems. I'm asking them hard questions and getting at the facts. And that's true in that situation. It's true when we're conducting an investigation. But then also being able to assimilate those facts into a solution that moves us forward in the public interest. I mean, I'm really privileged to have a job where I literally show up at work every day with one thing on my mind, which is when I make a decision, doing it in a way that advances the public interest. So that's true when I'm investigating a case, it's true when I charge a case, it's true when I try and settle a case. And so being able to make hard decisions that have consequences for people's lives and doing it with the public interest in mind, that's what I want to do here.
All right. What's your take on the Minneapolis City Council's resolution that they approved last week that opposes co-location, including a shallow tunnel option in the Kenilworth corridor for Southwest Light Rail?
Yeah. Well, so I think one thing that was really interesting about that resolution is that the resolution they passed was different than the resolution that was first proposed. Mm-hmm. So the resolution that was first proposed threatened to deny municipal consent to any co-location of the freight and the light rail. Yeah. So this is for the audience. So this means,
we need a little map here, diagram.
So the question is about whether there's a way to locate freight rail and the light rail both in the Kenilworth corridor at the same time.
Right.
And so the city passed a resolution. The original resolution that was proposed threatened to deny municipal consent for any plan that would do that. The resolution they ultimately passed didn't do that. It simply restated the city's long-standing opposition to co-location. Mm-hmm. Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. That's been their position for a long time. Obviously, the Met Council is going to have the opportunity next in this process to put a proposal on the table about how to move forward. I think it's critical for the future of our community and for the future of our planet to build a transportation future where where it's easier for us to use our cars less. Mm-hmm. And that means that we need to have better transit in the Twin Cities, and it's as simple as that. I mean, we need to make it easier for us to get around and take care of our daily needs and the daily priorities of life without getting in a personal car every single time. And so that means we need to expand the light rail network, and I really do see the Southwest Corridor as an important component of that. I want to see it succeed. And so I hope that we can get to a point where Minneapolis and St. Louis Park can agree to a way to move forward. Mm-hmm. And certainly what I want to do as a member of the county board is help to broker that kind of deal. And I think we have areas of agreement. We all agree we want to protect the lakes. We all agree that wherever the freight goes, we need to mitigate the impact on communities. And there are ways that I think the county can be helpful in that. Maybe we can be part of investing in that mitigation to help make a deal possible. Mm-hmm. Maybe we can talk about other transportation priorities as well and try and broker some kind of larger deal. I don't know, but that's what I would hope that we could do.
What other transportation policies would you advocate for if you became the commissioner?
Yeah, so I appreciate you asking that, because so much of the transportation discussion in this race has been about Southwest, and I really think the challenge is much bigger than that. Southwest is an important piece of this, but most of us are not going to use it on a daily basis. I mean, most people who live in the district and in the region. So I think there are a few different things. One is improving our other transit options. So I think there's a lot we can do even from a county perspective to improve our bus service, helping to, where buses run on county roads, getting infrastructure on the streets that'll help speed up buses and make them more reliable. I think our base bus service is always going to be the core part of our transit, I think, in this region. And it's one that people, especially people who rely on transit, who don't own cars, really rely on. And so I think making that more reliable and making it more timely and easier to use is important. So that's one. Second, making our neighborhoods more walkable. I see a future where we can deal with a lot of our normal daily needs in our neighborhoods. And a lot of that has to do with where county roads go through neighborhoods, making sure that they're designed not just for the people who are driving through neighborhoods, but for the people who live and work and shop and hang out in those neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So this is the county's Complete Streets Plan in a nutshell, or this is an expression of it. And I'm committed to driving that policy forward. We've had imperfect implementation of it so far, but it's a core part of something I'm committed to. So I want to see, when we're doing county road projects, thinking about room for pedestrians, room for bikes, room for transit, and how can we make the impact on neighborhoods positive?
Right. Yeah. Thinking of the Washington Avenue redesign, that's very exciting. More on the south end. I live, on the north end, and I wish that could happen there too. But
Well, I want to get there. I mean, I think Washington Avenue is a perfect example, and obviously the first stage of it is going to be for a limited part of Washington Avenue, but I want to expand that. I mean, a third thing is just our bicycle infrastructure in general, which is a component of the Washington Avenue project, obviously. And I see a future where biking is something that increasingly is a viable transportation option for people of all ages and experience levels. And the city wants to build 30 miles of cycle tracks. I want to help them do that. Obviously, Washington Avenue is going to be part of that. And I want to see more of Washington Avenue brought into that. I want to see other county roads brought into it. And I think we have tremendous opportunities to do that. It's something I want to fight for.
I know former Commissioner Dorfman is known so well for all of her work advocating for people experiencing homelessness. Can you talk a little bit more specifically, if you were elected, what you would do about the homelessness crisis, particularly among families experiencing homelessness?
Yeah, I mean, our two big areas of need right now are families and youth. And I think the strategies for those two groups look a little different. If you think about why it is that housing is so important to people, it's obviously not just to have a roof over someone's head, but where we live is it's our springboard for everything else in our lives. It provides us stability and security and a way to put in place the other pieces of a successful, comfortable life. And so we need to make sure that as we're helping people create options for housing and shelter, that we're doing so in a way that meets that larger need as well. So, you asked specifically about families, and I think we need to, first of all, we do need more shelter space for families. The existing shelter space, short-term shelter space, is full and overflowing, and we need to be ready to put some money on the table to expand that and meet that need. But we also need to be investing in more long-term affordable housing options in neighborhoods, so that people who are taking advantage of this and are being served by it are in places where they can live normal, stable, happy lives in normal, stable, happy communities. And I think about just kids in these families being able to go to school and not worry about where they're going to sleep, not worry about dangers in their neighborhoods. And so that I think is the core piece of this. Now then, how do we get there? I think partly we're going to be, again, through county resources investing in this. I think another component of it as well is we have just an incredibly tight rental market in general right now, and that's driving up rents for everybody, including at the low end of the rental market, and that's making some units that would be otherwise affordable to people not. And so making sure that throughout our region that we're expanding the size of that market and trying to meet that demand, I think, is an important component of it too.
Well, Ben, thank you so much for taking the time for this interview. Is there anything else that you want to add or say about your campaign?
Well, just that I'm really glad to have the chance to be here and talking with you as well. I love the Southwest Journal. I look forward to it every week. I think, and it's exciting to be able to engage with you about all of these really important issues. These are things that form a core part of my life and my career up to this point, and also, also my lived experience. I have worked in affordable housing. I ride the bus. I bike to work. Have
you started biking yet? It's a little nicer this week.
I haven't, not yet. I think soon though.
Potholes are going to be.
The potholes are bad.
Be a challenge.
And my street still has a lot of snow in it. A lot of the smaller streets do, but It's just fantastic to be able to talk about all of this with you.
Okay.
And I appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.